Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and today is on a Sunday. We are blessed to have this opportunity, just like as usual, to just have a conversation. Of course, a conversation that is geared towards the betterment of our country. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all our viewers, and of course, to remind you that this is Brother Benson Media. And again, over here we do say that your opinion counts. And, before we get into the discussion, I would want once again to welcome all our viewers and to remind you that if you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. If you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Allow me to welcome Miguda, and Miguda, you can come and say hi, tuambie Sunday yako imekuwa vipi?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Makubura. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for this opportunity to come to the show. I want to pass my greetings to our viewers, current and future viewers, and also to confirm to you that I've had a very good weekend. Of course, you understand right now, Premier League is very competitive, and today our team has just won against Fulham 3-0. It was almost a very draw game, but we managed to become victors. All is well, and we pray to Almighty God to continue strengthening us and giving us strength. I think we are good to go. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. And just want us to get straight to the discussion of today. Today we saw the opposition leaders in Murang, and there's much that people are talking about the church influence in politics. We're also seeing the ODM's potential role, and of course today's meetings. We saw the opposition having a meeting, several meetings with the people in the Mount Kenya region. We saw the president as well, together with some leaders of ODM, having meetings as well. And maybe part of the questions that are currently coming in is, did the church secure Ruto's victory? And how does ODM reshape the political landscape? The church has always been accused, not once but several times, that they are part, or they participated in one way or another in ensuring that the president got, the support that he got. And, currently we are seeing the UDA is also getting together or having a conversation with, is getting, okay, so allow me to just acknowledge Bacon. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. We really appreciate. And maybe you can join us on the right platform. Allow me to also appreciate Jessica. Thank you so much for also finding time to join us. And of course, we are requesting that if you're watching for the first time, just like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Yeah, so Miguda, there's much that is coming out. The church has played a big role. Remember, in churches, you meet quite a huge number of people. And again, depending on the wording that you use, you will either convince the people or not. But again, what we've also noted is that whenever political leaders gather, or whenever they go to church to have conversations with people, they are seen as one of those particular members of church. And the question I'm coming to ask you tonight is, Miguda, what is your view on this consistency among the political class? Every time that they are nearing the election, so they're starting their campaigns, they always focus in the church. And of course, we saw what church did in the last general election. What are your views, Miguda? I think Miguda has just dropped. I don't know what the problem is having, but just maybe to give a part of the clarification that is coming here, we saw how the church, the church network during the campaigns of the last general election really assisted quite a number of leaders, of course, including the president. And so many times we've seen other political leaders coming out to partly say that the church was lied to, and that after they were lied to and they voted in a government, they were then forgotten. Something that the president, he's coming out to really, to criticize and also to say that it is not true, that he worked with the church and the church played a good role and is standing with the church. Miguda, what are your views? I don't know whether you got my questions.
Yeah, I got your questions. I got your questions very well. The issue surrounding the current political statement by Mr. President and the public view or perception towards religion. He never went to churches alone, but we also saw him in mosque. We saw him also going to temples. There was a time he even hosted the Asians community at the current resident for the deputy president. I want to classify it as religion per se, that he actually relied on religion, and most people viewed him as a candidate for the believers, whereas the opponent was viewed as a candidate for non-believers. Worked for him, and right now is like religion has been part of the politics of the day, because we understand Kenya being a no religion state in the country, but we subscribe to religious beliefs, diversity, and majority of the people believe in God, and most of people also believe in religion. Therefore, it's a very huge consequence when you connect with them throughout campaigns. What is happening right now is campaign, and they are trying to realign together so that they can connect between them and the religious people. Because right now, as things are concerned, there's a disconnect between leaders, the people, leaders, and the religious leaders and the religious members, or religious and the congregation in the Christian community, more so the churches. It worked for him before. Having been in the political field, he proposed suggests that it can work for him going forward. That might influence him to decide to do whatever he wants to do currently. But you've seen other function, they likes to have called united opposition. They are also going to Mount Kenya, and they have been in churches. I think churches I think religious centers are avenues for them to get audience who are not mobilized, because churches or religious centers, people mobilize themselves, and the people are very attentive, and also it's a neutral ground whereby there can be no interference by the state. Things the way they are, yeah, we see recent attack in the church, and investigations are on. I think just a political of religion and politics.
Okay, and thank you, Miguda, and maybe there's a comment here. I don't know. There's a comment here from I don't know who this Imtiaz is saying. Wanajifanya DCA. Okay, maybe we'll get into that later. I want us to just move straight to the next question, Mr. Miguda. And what I want to ask you is, we've seen President Ruto recently addressing worshippers. He was actually in Nairobi together with quite a number of ODM leaders, and they're condemning leaders who exploit the pulpit for political agendas. We saw him, of course, emphasizing that churches should not become platforms for spreading hate and directed security forces to protect the worship places. My question to you is, Miguda, based on what we've seen Rigathi Gachagua being taken through, do you think the president is really, truthful on that? And again, in his statement, do you think his statements that are, you, I mean, you've heard today, you saw Rigathi Gachagua and his team. They were actually saying that if the police or those people who brought a lot of chaos, the last time he was accused of planning the goons that according to him he's saying that they were sent by the government. He's saying that he's going to plan for a big demonstration that would not be even compared to what Raila used to have. The question I'm asking you, Miguda, is, do you think, if you go by the statement of the president while condemning that those leaders are exploiting the pulpit for political agendas, do you think the president is truthful? And again, we've seen Rigathi Gachagua has consistently defended the use of churches as the mobilization centers, arguing that faith institutions were the pivotal in Ruto's 2022 victory, and of course remain the most important for grassroots engagement, of which that statement is true, because we saw the president was more of his support base came from the church. And again, being that the oppositions are now coming out to call the president and of course the government to arrest, and that if they're not arrested, they would get to the demonstration. What are your views on the comments of the president and the views of Rigathi Gachagua, reminding the president that the churches that today is not respecting are part of those people who, assisted him? But again, we saw all the opposition leaders, including Matiang'i, Kalonzo, and Karua, they were all criticizing this approach of, sending goons to disrupt them. Most of the opposition in churches, warning that the politicization of the pulpit will undermine the sanctity of the religious institution, and that would risk alienating the neutral votes. What are your views, Miguda?
What happened recently, whereby there were allegations that the church was invaded, women, children were injured, people were chased away. It was a plot by the police officers. Those allegations are under investigations. As we have said, we are going to wait for the report that is going to come from the DCIO, very authentic. Also, if that is what is being plotted, because the current administration came as a result of being allowed to participate and express their freedom of expression in churches, in mosque, in temple, in open places. But right now, the current administration is anti-assembly, is anti-expression, is anti-association, as it may be. The current administration is not doing justice to the subjects, just the way you've said, from the head, who is the beneficiary of the assembly of the churches or mosque or whatever, or crusades. The united opposition threatening that they're going to protest. They're going to protest to defend their rights. They're going to protest to defend their freedoms. They are going to protest against bad governance. And they're saying it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the grandmother of all demonstration. And they have said that it's gonna outshine the one which has been there before. Greatest of all time, the god of Kenyan politics. Politics is more of a mind game. You can speculate to gauge your opponents. You can speculate, for instance, to scare away people, to scare away your opponents. I want to use a football match. You can speculate before a match that our forward is not going to participate in the competition. Our back left, our midfield, our center back, so that the opponent can come to the pitch with their full squad without knowing that you'll unveil your last lineup maybe 30 minutes to the football. You can speculate, you can send signals, you can send warnings, you can threaten to create fear to your opponent. Because governments fear demonstration, governments fear protest, they can use that platform. They can use that platform to ensure that they create panic. But all in all, I'm supporting them 100%. I'm supporting them in full because we believe in the rights and fundamental freedoms. We believe in Article 37, the right to protest, demonstrate, picket, assembly, and more so importantly, to present petition to the authority. That right, we are behind it. We support it. We are supported fully if they can do, because by press conference, by blogging, by oversight, it's not enough. Sometimes people need to showcase by marching towards government institutions, towards DCI headquarters, towards National Police Service Commission headquarters, towards Parliament. They have to demonstrate to show their dissatisfaction with the service of the government. There I'm supporting them. So there's no way me I'll post freedom of right to protest, because through protest alone, Kenya got independence. Through protest alone, Kenya were unable to chase away the white settlers here. Through protest alone, we gain our 2010 constitution. Through protest, we gain our devolution. Protest has delivered. Protest have become part and parcel of Kenya's problem. Therefore, anytime, any day, protest is called, anytime, any day, the street is calling, I'll be there. It is just commonly in the Swahili choir that Baba used to sing. Nikiitwa nitaitika, nikiitwa nitaitika. Kumtumikia taifa letu Kenya. What am I trying to say? When the state is calling, I'll be available to participate as a patriot, to defend my country, to defend my rights, defend my fundamental freedoms, to defend my people, and to defend my sovereignty as a citizen of Kenya. Any day, anytime the state calls, we are there. Lastly, when you talked about the issue of conflict of interest, whereby the other hand, you talked about religion and the people. The other hand, you destroy or you are part of the denial of the right to religion, right to participate, right to demonstrate. I think most of the time it is obvious that the government usually try to be comfortable, and anybody or anything that makes them uncomfortable, they are going to deal with that person or that thing the other way around. These are signs of panic. People have started to panic, and so on and so forth. Let me also Imitiaz Canal KLM 724. We are with you. Mimi niko na Rigiji for life. Yeah, you are very correct. That is your democratic right. That is your freedom to associate, to participate freely without being compromised. I'll put it back to you.
Okay, thank you, thank you so much, Meguda, for just giving us your view. We really appreciate, and us to just get to the next topic over here, where we are seeing a lot of meetings. We are seeing a lot of coming together. And of course, today we saw Kalonzo Musyoka, Fred Matiang'i, joined by Martha Karua, Rigathi Gachagua, Eugene Amalo, among others, amongst other leaders in Muranga for church service that, of course, evolved into a major rally. And we saw that the event highlighted growing unity within the opposition coalition ahead of the 2027 election. And maybe just your take, whether you can clarify to us, based on what the Constitution of Kenya says, is the campaigns officially on? You'll tell us, you'll give us your view on that. Based on, of course, what we are seeing. We are seeing leaders are campaigning, both the side of opposition and, of course, the side of the government. We saw, Kalonzo, all these leaders, they were criticizing the government, of course, saying that most of the things that the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya addresses, things to do with respecting the human rights, things to do with economy, improving the economy of the Republic, things to do with ensuring that Kenya is headed to the right direction. According to them, they're saying all those things are not happening. They're also criticizing the government that majority of, that there's much that is being looted. Matiang'i is saying that the country is losing a lot, and that there's a lot of constructions that are being, money that is being directed to State House. And he's saying that even the constructions happening over there are not really making sense, especially at a time when the people of Kenya are suffering. He's saying that part of the education system is not really working, that Kibaki started the free education with a view of ensuring that by the time the next governments would come, they would be in a position to continue with the free education. All these leaders are saying that that particular free education move has not been rolled out, and that people or students are still struggling to go to school because they are unable to get the finance to, money to pay the school fee. In their own way, they're saying that once they get the opportunity to lead, they're going to bring back all those kind of goodies that were left by Kibaki and Uhuru. They're also saying that money that is being looted is used to, is used for campaign purposes. And, uh, there's a lot of criticism that are coming from the opposition leaders, and maybe Miguda, in your own words, what are your take on the specific wordings or the specific statements that were used by these politicians, the opposition politicians, criticizing the government today while they were in several rallies? Also, we saw these rallies show that the opposition leaders are deliberately using church events to counter President Ruto's narrative of mobilizing. What are your views, Migude?
Okay, thank you, bro. In my own words, the way you have just asked me the questions, in my own words, whatever they are doing right now, the issue of criticizing, the issue of oversighting, the issue of putting the current regime on toss, that is their duty. Because generally, oppositions are always alternative. They are government in waiting. You have seen many people came from opposition and definitely they became presidents. Moi Kibaki came from opposition and became the president. At one point in life, Uhuru Kenyatta was also in opposition.
Migude,
Recently,
just a minute. I can see some. There's one of our viewer here called Bruce. Bruce is also giving his views, and allow me to just read this before you pick up because it's part of what I wanted you to give your view on. He's saying that each of the governments, not just yours, not just ours, but each of them have these programs, and everyone is taking a dollar. And he's also going ahead to say that they mimic the same schemes here and there, a construction, and uh-huh. He's also saying that even a contract, consider this, you get 5 people to provide your plumbing. You know, Bruce here is saying that the challenges that we are going through over here are similar to what they are going. I'm not so sure where Bruce is coming from. Maybe, Bruce, you can tell us from the comment section where you're coming from. And if you're watching for the first time, we request you to just like and subscribe. Miguda, that brings me to this question again, as you will be continuing. The cries are all over. The cries are all over, not just Kenya. How are the oppositions, those who wants to come to the government to change the nation, how are they going to do it? And of course, base your remarks in the Kenyan, in this country, Miguda.
okay, I was just saying that mostly opposition are always alternative, government waiting. Whenever they are pointing out some programs being undertaken by the government, that's their duty. Maybe they can decide to point out in terms of tendering, in terms of service delivery, and so on and so forth, because they are preparing for campaigns. And you have said, you have seen them coming together. It's a matter of realignment. Even in the government, you have seen people like Oburu Odinga, the ODM party leader, trying to engage Mr. President, the UD party leader. All in all, they are saying they are united opposition. On the other hand, some people are also calling themselves united government. Is it united government? There are those who are pro current programs. Are not
Miguda, you're not
concurrent
clear.
with the people's needs. They,
Miguda, I don't know whether you can hear me. Miguda, are you there? Okay. Thank you. I think Miguda is having a problem with his internet. As we wait for him, allow me to just appreciate and say a big thank you to Bruce. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. Allow me to also say a big thank you to Tiaz or Canal. Thank you so much, KLM, for also finding time to join us. Not forgetting, I can also see um, Bacon and Jessica. Thank you so much for also finding time to join us. We really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you so much for finding time to join us and, of course, giving us your views. Bruce here is saying that I saw a YouTube video on this guy, Captain Traore. The video was good. I was compelled to listen to him. What are your thoughts on this guy, Captain Traore? Yeah, Meguda is coming to give his view on that. But I also I believe that, of course, Traore is partly doing a good job, because what really matters in any country is a government that is working, a government that is delivering, whether it's matters of, projects, whether it is matter of infrastructure, if it is working. And that's why me, I've always said here, even in Kenya, more of the problems that we are going through these problems because we've always elected people based on our tribe, based on our location, and we've not really considered quite a lot. We've not given a chance to leaders. And this is where the problem comes. Kenya has been accused of having a lot of tribalism, but the problem that are being faced, whether you are in Turkana or which part of the country, you'll face the same problems. And so, what young people are saying is that they do not care whether, where a leader is coming from, even if a leader is coming from another country, so long as they're going to come to Kenya and deliver, that is what really matters. And I can say that Traore has done well because he's not focused on politics. He has only focused on doing developments. And of course, every citizen would want a government that is delivering in terms of development, in terms of infrastructure, a government that is ensuring that the taxes that they are paying is really, in one way or another, being used, to support that particular country. And that is what I would say about Traore. Migude, you can finish your comments. And also, there's a question a comment over there on the screen. You can give your take as well.
Oh, okay, I was saying there was a problem with my network. I was saying alternative, whereby there is composition right now. The current regime are likely to form coalition with ODM, whereby other people or other like-minded parties like PLP, DP, DCP, Jubilee, the one for Natembe and Eugene Amalo, Wiper, they also want to form coalition. It means you are either in government or outside. So you decide your camp. After making the decision on your camp, it's up to you right now to convince Kenyans. You cannot create another human being right now. It is us who is your task to persuade us on your programs. Because we have seen many oppositions before coming out to be alternative, but once they capture power, they likely retain status quo. So we don't know what can happen right now going forward. So in terms of social and economic rights, it's a duty of each and every government to ensure that it provides its citizens with social and economic rights, whereby they have a duty to ensure that they are free education, there's universal health coverage, clean water, and so on and so forth. As per right now, there are complaints from the citizens. There are people who are saying SHA is working, there are people who are saying it's not working. But my concern is they promise that the people who cannot pay, government will pay for them. We are asking the question, has the government paid for the people who cannot pay? No, they haven't. So it's not reality. Universal education system for each and every Kenyan citizen. Right now, there are students who have not joined grade 10 because of lack of school fees and other facilities needed into schools. Is education free and fair across? No, it is not. Those are the things I'm trying to bring across. So there is no need of bringing in each and every time government into place, but the citizens are dissatisfied with the service of the government. The citizens are not contented with the activities being taken by the government. When people unite against the current regime, you talked about new faces. To me, the die has been cast. You are either with the people or with the oppressors. So if you have decided to be with the oppressors, you'll be punished. If you decide to be with the people, you will punish the oppressor through the power of the people, the sovereign power of the people. The people's power is stronger than the bullets and is stronger than the current regime. The people are sovereign and the people shall exercise their power directly by ensuring that they democratically elect their new representatives. Uh, Imtiaz Kana KLM 724 talk about gava office ukifika toa kitu kidogo. This is corruption. I agree with you. I agree with you in total. Corruption is another problem. Corruption is a concern in this country. There's massive corruption. There's massive embezzlement of government resources. And that's where even where our problem is. People might cite tribalism. People might cite issues to do development, but corruption. Like what happened? We are receiving reports that three KDF officers, I'm coming to that question. Okay. We are receiving report that the three KDF officers who are going training, recruit, they were at the RTS, Recruit Training Center, Eldoret. Three of them passed away in the midst of training. But if you ask some vital information, you get that maybe they bribe to be recruited and now they are passed away. Corruption. Some people were not fit for the job. Some people are not fit to carry out those heavy tasks. Then they are being given because of the bribe. So I agree with you. Bribe is the order of the day in the country. Corruption is very massive, and corruption is a concern. And the day we deal with corruption, then we just have to have a mechanism on how to deal with corruption. If we can decide on how to deal with the people corrupt, the cartels in town, that can save this country. Bruce Wayne the Grey, you have asked me about what are your thoughts on this guy, Captain Ibrahim Traore. I know him, I've heard about him. Ibrahim Traore is the current leader of the Burkina Faso, the Ouagadougou, the capital city is called Ouagadougou. Burkina Faso have tried, and Burkina Faso, from the historical perspective, when Thomas Sankara came to power, Thomas Sankara had a very clear vision for the Burkina Faso. Not only Burkina Faso, but also Africa at large. Thomas Sankara had a blueprint, very practical, very significant for the country. It was admired across the globe. And there are also some issues that you will have stayed long, because you understand those days people stayed long, and you could have stayed long. So when Campore came, and the rest are history. He was killed, assassinated. Then later Campore also suffered a long time. But by God's grace, the people protested far right. What I was telling you about the issue of protest, and they removed Campore. Then they installed Ibrahim Traore. Since Traore came to power, people viewed Traore vision similar to the late Thomas Sankara. People viewed Traore want to put Burkina Faso where the dreams of the founders' fathers like Thomas Sankara had. The issue of mining in the country, it has remained for the locals and for the country. They have not invited foreigners to do their mining. The issue of taxation, economical rights, social rights, health, education. To me, I think he is the right leader for the Burkina Faso at this right time moment. He is the best for Africa. He is the best for West Africa. He is the best for Burkina Faso. A good man for the moment. So the visions can be quoted, but people are also saying that he's a military leader. He was not elected democratically. But if that is what military junta is, so give me military junta. If democracy cannot serve me well, give me military junta. And what I want to say, give me freedom or give me liberty or give me death. If I can't live in a liberal society, then why should I live? That is my take on Ibrahim Traore. I think the future is very bright for the Burkina Faso people, and he has remained steadfast, firm. Makubura, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, and for giving us your both views on the role of the position and, of course, the government. Maybe there's a dilemma that is still here. ODM strategic dilemma. This is something that we're waiting to see the last confirmation on whether it is. I mean, they're gonna work together with the government, but so far, I think we're already seeing it is partly they've started a good cooperation, or a cooperation that we can say that are signaling that they're going to work together. And maybe the question I would ask you is, ODM, currently led by Dr. Buro Ginga, is seen as the potential kingmaker. I can say so. Ruto's outreach to ODM, of course, is signaling recognition that church support alone may not secure long-term dominance. Remember, the president was supported by quite a number of religious leaders, and he has seen that if he is not going to reach out to ODM, he might not secure his, second term. But again, if ODM cooperates with Ruto, it could weaken, or it is going to seriously weaken the opposition unity and isolate figures like Kalonzo and Matiang'i. Remember, ODM was as it was supported by Kalonzo, was supported by Matiang'i in the last two, in the last general election, and Kalonzo also supported, or the Wiper supported him in the other two elections, which happened in 2017 and 2013. Conversely, we are also seeing a possibility that if ODM strengthen ties and decide that they are getting back to the opposition, it could as well create a formidable coalition, changing Ruto's church-driven strategy. And the ODM party is currently one of those kingmakers that are being. I mean, the people are waiting, or the political leaders are waiting for them to make the final move. What are your views, Migoda, on that particular dilemma, on whether they're going left or right? To whose benefit or to whose advantage is it going to be?
We are also in that confusion. We're just waiting for the events to unfold. But right now, I can't predict much about ODM. What I can say that it was obvious that when the general went, they had to be confused and also find themselves in the current scenario because it's very much normal. That's very much normal because the unifying factor is no more. The unifying factor, the water can no longer hold the stage at the center. That's my view to ODM Makobura.
Okay, okay, thank you. We saw the former cabinet secretary Owalo coming out to criticize the government and saying that the government has done little in solving the problems of the people of Kenya. He also accused the government of involvement in a lot of corruption. He said that money that is being lost could be used to do a lot of changes in the Republic of Kenya. What are your views about the comments of Owalo and the tag that he's still having as a project of the government? After that, you can give us your final remarks.
Okay, thank you for that. I can just say Owalo is in the game. Owalo is on the game, is playing, is part of the regime. He has been planted by William Ruto. So let him play politics. Let him do his politics. He's at liberty to do politics. He's very free. Let him criticize and do that politics. That's what I can say about Owalo. I don't want to discuss much about him. My final remarks, Makobura, I just want to appreciate our viewers, Imtiemiza, who came and also participated vigorously in the comment section. Thank you for coming to the show. And also I want to thank Bruce Wayne, the Grey, for also coming and also contributed by engaging us in the comment section. We really appreciate you people. And also I want to appreciate Brenda Obedi for coming. You too for hosting us. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. allow me allow me to also say a big thank you to everyone who joined us. And of course, remind you that this is Brother Benson Media. Over here, we do say that your opinion counts. If you are watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe. If you do so, it is a way of supporting us. As usual, sisi tutasema ni asante. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Imtiaz Canal KLM 24 and Bruce Wayne. Thank you so much for finding time to join us. Brenda Obedi, thank you so much for finding time to join us as well. We really appreciate your presence. Bacon, thank you so much for finding time to be with us. And Jessica, we really appreciate. And once again, if you're watching us for the first time, kindly just like and subscribe. If you do so, sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. I want to take this opportunity now to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon. From wherever you're watching us from, thank you so much, and we hope that you will join us again tomorrow. Thank you for finding time to be with us, and bye-bye. See you again tomorrow.